So hello guys, I am Vmos, also known as Salpeka. Uh, this is a video talking about like addiction. What is an addiction? So I don't know where the term addiction comes from. So I will not talk about that. I'll just talk about what I know. You know, an addiction is basically something that starts as just we get introduced to this phenomena or this construct that you uh, like for the first time in your life, because before that there is something called addiction disorder or substance use disorder. It's called substance use disorder, yes, right. So in substance use disorder, one is born with low serotonin and low dopamine or low something in their brains, and when they are born with this low, you can say chemicals, they tend to, you can say, use external things to get a rise in these chemicals. And when you first use it, it gets like a rise in your mind, in your study, in your brain, and your mind feels good. For the first time in your life you feel good because your identity comes from your mind, so you feel fulfilled. But overall, when you get dependent on it, you know because your brain will stop making those chemicals, and your brain will, after your brain naturally stops making those chemicals, you're dependent on those substances. And because of being dependent on the substances, you will have problems, you know if you don't get it. If you don't get cigarettes, you'll have problems. You'll get, if you don't get alcohol, you will get problems. If you don't get even porn, you will get problems. All of these things, they are very, you can say, bad, but actually not. The thing is, in Mahasati Patana, you see things as what. Now first, what is Mahasati Patana? You may have heard it for the first time. So Mahasatipatthana comes from the Mahasatipatthana Sutra, which is a Buddhist sutra, which means Maha means great, Sati means pillar, and Patana means remembering. Sorry, Maha means great, Sati means uh, remembering, and Patana means pillar. So the great remembering foundation technique. So what happens in the great remembering foundation technique? So in the great remembering foundation technique, you try to go back to one phenomena and stay with it in the present moment as much as possible. And when you see the reality, or through a different lens, I don't see it, I don't call it the Buddhists will call it an absolute reality or absolute truth, but I don't call it absolute truth. It's just in perspective. It's just a perspective at the end of the day. My English not very good, you know, sorry, but at the end of the day, it's just a perspective. And sorry for the background noises. Sorry, and sorry. And the thing is, your mind is like any other construct, like a chair, like a table, Sorry, I thought like someone is saying uh, mind is just like any other construct, like a chair, a table, or anything else. It is like made out of like the stone that I'm holding right now in my hand is just like that, but conceptual in nature. It is just a construct, you know it is just a construct. Your brain is just a construct made out of atoms, and your mind is a conceptual thing that is in a conceptual plane of existence. And it's just like the CPU and the software. you know Whatever you do to the brain will affect the CPU, and whatever you affect the CPU might not or may affect the CPU software. Like the software will affect the CPU. It may, who knows. Like for example, if you in the software, if you stored like too much data, it will, you can say, basically your hard drive is filled with like the currents and stuff like that. Because at the end of the day, what is information in like computer? It's like 0 1 0 1 0 1 0 1 0 1, which basically no charge, charge, and charge, and no charge, and again and again and again and again in different combinations. So it may affect your brain also. So whatever you do to the mind will affect the brain, and whatever you do to the brain may affect the mind, and they both are categorically different, and sometimes they don't affect each other. For example, mental health patients will feel, you can say, something in their mind, which is wrong with them, but their brain is like completely fine, which is in the case of me. My brain is completely fine, but like my mind is uh, having, it's causing problems in my daily routine. So that's like a condition. Or you may have something like a brain problem, a neuro problem, but it doesn't affect your mind. So it's just like migraine or headaches or a brain injury. But at the end of the day, mind is just a construct, just like this stone, just like this flower, just like this, sorry, the tree plant, but this leaf, it's like just a construct. At the end of the day, it's non-living. We consider the brain itself considers itself like as like living, the mind itself considers it as living, but at the end of the day we have to understand that the mind itself gives the concept of identity to it. So I don't believe in like rebirths, I don't believe in afterlife. So why did I bring all these topics up? Because there are problems, there are addictions in your life that you may never solve in your entire lifetime. But then why to even like practice if you cannot solve it? The reason we practice is to change our viewpoint on things and to lower its intensity. And who knows, you can solve it. Who knows, you can solve it. I don't believe in rebirths. I don't believe in afterlives. You know, I believe in God, but like I don't believe in all these other things. You are created, you stay, and you die, and you're gone. But as a process, as you are here, just like evaporation or like boiling, you are just a process, bunch of process. So processes put together. You're just like bunch of meat and bones put together. That's like what like Mahasati Padana will teach you. It will teach you a different perspective. that you are not different than anything else. There were many other perspectives back in the day, but now they are lost. But like the only one that I found which has like helped me a lot is like Mahasatipatthana. Mahasatipatthana is practiced mainly by the Buddhist Theravada Buddhists, but like it helps. If you're non-religious, it will still help you, and I think so. It will help you. So now, how to practice Mahasatipatthana? Mahasatipatthana, you can practice it in anywhere, anytime, any place. You have to, you can say, first take an object. There are four foundations of Mahasatipatthana. As the pillar sounds, it's a pillar, it's a foundation. So there are four foundations. There is the body, there are feelings and sensations, there are like uh, thoughts of past and future and present, and they are finally there are like constructs like laziness, tiredness, tired, or exhaustion, drowsiness, and etc. But all these constructs, at the end of the day, I'm repeating it again and again because I have Tourette's. Sorry for that. But we generally tend to, you can say, never see them as for what they are, or never see them in the present moment. If we can see them in the present moment for what they are, we can not see them as, we don't see happiness as something as pleasure, pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral. Neutral means meh, or neutral means like something that you ignore. So like you don't do that, you don't ignore it, you don't like seek it, you don't, you can say, stop it or fight against it, or like do something to it. So like you are just present in the present moment, practicing it, and while doing so, you will you'll face a lot of problems, because for the first time you will start doing it, the intensity of your like any phenomena rises. For example, itching. If you start meditating on an itch, the itching will, you can say, increase in intensity. But your job is to not react, and that's what you should do in addiction. In addiction, you don't have to react, because there are people, even after getting through all rehabilitation process, which is an hell, which is a hell, actual hell, you know even after going through, I have never been through like drug or like alcohol, but I am an porn addict. I am a porn addict. So uh, it's like you tend to like lose your like grip on like everything else around you, and you still feel the same that you felt like before addiction, and you feel again sorrow, sadness, and like but the thing is, you have to be content with it. You have to be content with sadness. Contentment is the ultimate form of happiness in this reality. So that was the video. I hope it will increase your curiosity. I don't know, hope, but like I am a Superman fan, so hope. So like hope. So I hope it increases your curiosity on like searching about Mahasatipatthana. I will say go to Meditation Plus or Sri Mangala org. You don't have to be religious. Just like go there and like seek it. Seek a therapist. Seek a like an addiction specialist. They will help you. Seek any kind of help from anywhere to like decrease this like thing. You don't need to fight it. If you give it attention, it will take your attention, and it will, you can say, become like, stronger. It's like a demon. The more attention you give it, the stronger it gets. The thing is, it's just like any other phenomena in your life. Just see it as like a rock that comes, stays, and passes. Whenever you have a thought of an addiction, for example, I want to, like, watch porn, or like, I want to, like, smoke a cigarette. That idea comes into your mind. Don't react on it. No matter what happens, don't react on it, and just let it go by itself. It will fade away over time. It will take a lot of time, but eventually, slowly, slowly, with years and years and years and years of practice, it will go away. So thank you for watching. Sadhu, 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 sadhu.